All right. Hello, everybody. Hope we are live. Hope we are audible. I'm joined today for the finals of the Two Key Cup by Barnawal on the mic. What's up, Barnawal?
Hey, Lustrous. I'm really excited to be commentating this game. So thanks for having me on here. Yeah, I can't wait to see four super strong players and can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, likewise. This is going to be great. All right. So we've got a setup and we've got faction selection going, but I'm going to blab for just a couple minutes here about the tournament and about how the first round went. And then let's jump in and start breaking down what we're seeing here. But initially, we got mermaids, alchemists, fakirs, engineers, with all the action on engineers. So yeah, this is the inaugural, or perhaps only, but probably we'll try to do this again, tournament of the Two Key Cup. So what we did here was just create a live event. It's maximum 4 hours, and it's a single elimination tournament with 16 players. So 4 tables of 4 for the first round, and then the person who wins each of those games makes to the final. And so this is the final table. In the first round, we had some absolutely stacked tables, and the people to make it through the first round gauntlet are Felipe Bart, Zarito, Super Zarni, and Weber. So, I mean, just like look at those elos. This is insane. Super Journey has like the lowest elo currently of these players at like well over 600. It's like an absolutely stacked table.
And if Cerrito wins this, he might hit 700. No, Cerrito's at 685 right now,
Oh yeah, I bet.
so that
I
could
bet.
be a little thing to look for here.
Yeah, I bet that's enough to do it. That's exciting. So yeah, oh my God, people are still just bidding on engineers. That's nuts. Okay, so what we've done here too is in the first round, I mentioned the tables are absolutely stacked. And in organizing this tournament, I tried to sort of prioritize a high level of play, and we definitely achieved that. A lot of people were really excited. A lot of people registered. A lot of strong players. So we're super excited about that. I also tried to make it just a manageable commitment for the players, and for me as an organizer. I did some things to hopefully make it not take forever on my end. And so in the first round, um, we had I'm sorry. I'm trying to do too many things at once here. Um, basically, uh, I put together, I was going to keep it simple, but I couldn't help myself. I put together a fancy little logo, some fancy little stats, because I was very thrilled about the first round. So, what we had was an average elo across the players who were qualified for the tournament, um, of like almost 600. Of those players, 7 of them are currently ranked in the top 20 on BGA for Terra Mystica. And of those 16 players who qualified for the final by ELO, 15 of them had been in the top 20 at some point. So, anyways, just to give a sense of what these players have gone through in the first round to get to this point. But let's fork it over to the game so we can actually take a look at what's going on in this final. Um, just take note that there are, everyone's got a 30-minute timer. It's a little different than what you'll usually see on BJ. We set it up so that folks have a set amount of time. And if anybody goes into the negative on their time, the only action that they're allowed to take is to pass out of the round for the rest of the game. So folks can go negative if they want, but they're allowed after that, they just have to pass. So with all those details in context, if there's anything I'm missing, Barnwell, please feel free to tell me, but probably more details than we even needed. And let's look at the setup. What are you seeing here?
All right, so to break it down a bit, we've got 3 scoring bonuses in. We're missing the big building bonus, and we're missing the priest bonus and the worker power. And the track is a pretty good scoring track. Round 2 dwellings is a good scoring round for a lot of factions to expand out. Round 4 TPs is a big round for economic factions. So engineers here and mermaids are 2 factions that really like round 4 TPs. And then round 6 dwellings is also a good economic faction round for or a good round for economic factions as well. So lots of scoring options in the game. In the auction, we have kind of like a classic color matchup. We got blue, black, yellow, and gray, and we've had a lot of bids so far at engineers. So engies are down to 20 points already. We have mermaids and alchemists with some points down, but what we're waiting for is for fakirs to be bid on. And it's kind of interesting because fakirs have no color neighbor here. So it's like, in theory, they shouldn't be that bad, but they're still fakirs. And both shipping bonuses are in, like, they're missing the priest bonus. It's not a perfect setup for them. And so it's like, the big question here is like, how bad are fakirs? There's also like blue in the game. Like, they love having mermaids in the game. So in theory, they're maybe not that bad. But it's tough. Like, we got some really strong economic factions, so how are they going to do a network is a big question. The track doesn't really scream fakirs to me, so it's interesting. Be curious to see who jumps and when they jump.
Yeah,
We also
absolutely.
have so I didn't really mention, but we have mermaids and alchemists. Well, maybe I mentioned them, but we have the color neighbors, but they can, I think, get along okay here. It looks like mermaids open with double dig, and well, what do alchemists open with? So, like, NGs get spade, fakirs take. I actually don't know what fakirs
Yeah.
take after that.
You
Going
go
cold step,
gold
that's really
coins,
weird
or
in
do you
third
take the
seed.
worker maybe? Is there
I
any
don't know,
benefit
but
to them taking power? Does that deny anything to alchemists or mermaids? Maybe. I guess if you
temp
take one of
ship
the
would be a
power
denial.
scrolls, then, well, we've got a game. All right. Excellent. So,
So
looks like we got Felipe on mermaids, Weber on engineers, Zorito on alchemists, and Super Jarny jumped to fakirs. I happen to know, as many people in the community may know, that Super cannot resist fakirs. They're his favorite faction. So I, I I get genuinely excited to see him playing fakirs. It just makes him so happy, and he's obviously extremely strong with them.
and I'm pretty sure they're all in the factions they put in the auction. I'm pretty sure Felipe put in mermaids, and I know Felipe likes mermaids, or at least he played them in the finals of the Terra Mystica World Open a couple years ago.
Yeah, true,
Um, I
true.
think Cerrito likes Alchemist, and he played Alchemist in the semis. We all know Weber loves his NGs, and we all know Super loves his Fakirs, so I feel like everyone's probably happy with the faction they're on here. The
Yeah,
question is, who is the best deal? That's
that's
not clear to
true.
me.
That's true. You said Zorito played alchemist in the first round, right? Did you just you might have just said that?
Yeah,
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 he did.
yeah, yeah. Nice.
Okay, so answering your question here, Super went coin cold step with the bonus.
Okay. All right, I can see that. Um, tempo considerations there. I don't know. As fakirs, I feel like I often want to pass early, so we'll see if everybody else has enough actions in the first round where he gets to use that bump or what he does with it. Maybe he can get the spade. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm guessing he goes double temple here, right? Like tries to get workers and go double temple. I don't know what else you
That
could go
makes
for as
sense. That makes sense.
Fakirs.
So he ends up with a slow round, anyways. So in this case, for
Yeah, or you
fakirs, you don't worry about e6.
I guess you can't really, right? Yeah, I don't think you really can, but I don't think alchemists are taking it. Like Cerrito's on temp ship, he's got to want a priest, and yeah, there's the priest. Like he
Yeah,
has to want to get
there's
the
no
two ship.
down in it for him, anyways, right? Yeah,
Yeah, with mermaids in the game especially, you gotta rush to secure your territory as alchemists.
yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense, I think.
Okay, and Felipe with double dig in hand at the moment gets the first upgrade. So we'll see. We'll see where the upgrades happen. We'll see where the leech goes. I would imagine Super would upgrade. No, F3 first. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised too. I thought he was gonna upgrade D3, be friends with mermaids out there.
Yeah, yeah, okay. But there's no upgrade in the east just yet though. So it's interesting. Okay.
No, and it's a scary thing with NGs in this matchup is it's so easy to get leech starved early on. And I guess the
I
idea
know.
is NGs are good enough to make up for it later, and they still have alchemists in the East who at some point are going to give them leech. But I don't think Zarito had to start East here. I think there are options for alchemists to not start East, so I think it was risky for NGs, and they've been down pretty low with minimal. I mean, the cult reward's definitely better for mermaids than NGs at least. I would feel a little nervous as NGs, but they do start with a spade, which is obviously amazing in a spade round. It can't be that bad.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes for NGs.
And at this point, it looks like alchemists are obviously going to manage to take C1 from mermaids. So that's going to hurt,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you got to
absolutely.
figure Felipe. Yeah, so that's going to hurt Felipe a bit here.
And not just C1, but also B3. A8. Like alchemists are getting all those hexes, so mermaids.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's already hard to see a third town for mermaids, right? Like you see the town that's E4, uh, whatever, the west town, the usual town, and they have a town in the center to the northeast, but the third town looks tricky. I mean, maybe you don't need a third town, but it's a bit limiting if they don't have that. The trade-off is it's a really good track for mermaids. Like you have the double water rewards, you got
Yep.
round 4 TPs to hit, which I think mermaids can hit pretty well. Although if you lose the C1 territory, it's a lot less easy expansion, and so it's a bit harder to get your economy rolling for that round. But then ship BP and dwelling BP are in the game. It's a high coin game, so like there's lots of other good things here for mermaids that they can probably be flexible and adaptable and still have a good game regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, these players are playing fast too. They're obviously all comfortable with these settings, comfortable with this matchup. And we see engineers take D4, no surprise there.
Yeah, and it's exactly like you said. It's a very comfortable matchup. Like there is a bit of tension between mermaids and alchemists, but it's not a lot compared to some Terra Mystica games. Weber being in fourth seat put in engineers, and he made the clean matchup. I'm not surprised. Like from what I know of Weber, I think he's more of a clean matchup kind of guy. Um, but I know Zarito is a messy matchup kind of guy, but I think he was in second seat putting Alchemist in.
Okay,
But
so
anyway, it's
that would
kind of an
explain it that
unrelated tangent.
mermaids. No, no, not at all. That's totally relevant. I mean, I love seeing how players' preferences and styles come through, and I feel like there's like a good amount of that in this game. Um, yeah, because I mean,
Ooh,
Zorito picked alchemists into mermaids here. Uh, to create a little bit of a mess, or at least color neighbors. So yeah, so Weber manages to get down that D4 dwelling. I think in part his timing around that was that he could get that extra leech off of C3 when mermaids dig it, like they just did.
yeah, and I think that's smart. Like as NGs, you got to maximize every little bit of leech you can get, like every bit of resources. Especially, actually, I didn't realize Alchemist upgraded in the east, but I guess it makes sense for them. That's where their town is. So they get a little bit of leech here. But kind of interesting for NGs to upgrade in the center and not the east. Um, Maybe it's a bit
Yeah.
of a hindsight thing. Now that you see Alchemist have upgraded in the east, like it wasn't clear earlier on, but I wonder if Weber regrets upgrading the center rather than the east.
Well, I feel like I haven't seen this too often. It's almost like everybody did their temple upgrade in an unfriendly spot. Nobody upgraded a temple next
Yeah,
to another trading post or temple. I feel like that's pretty rare. I feel like a lot of the times you'll see someone upgrade, and then the next player will be like, "Well, I'm going to jump in on that spot. I want that leech." But all of these players found a way to make it a little harder on their opponents.
that's a really good point. You almost never see that, right? No one's
Yeah, it's
taken a
funny.
2-for-1 this game. I don't think anyone's taking a 2-for-1 yet. I could be wrong. I think it's all been single powers because of this. That's so weird.
Exactly. So, like, it's funny because on one hand, I would say, well, that's going to probably stunt some of these folks' economies, particularly because two of these players went for Earth one round one. But on the other hand, they're all such strong players. It looks like the game is pretty coin rich and worker rich overall. I guess it's a little light on workers, but we got alchemists and engies in the game, so you know they're going to have blowout networks if they want them.
Yeah, definitely. I think for Alchemist, I'm realizing like it's a bit sad not having the big building bonus in. Like they love that scroll so much, and those 2 extra workers can be really huge. But they're still like Rosarito's still getting a very strong start here. He's gonna get like Temple 4 dwellings. It looks like, yeah, so he'll have a great economy. I'm really
But he
surprised that
just
Felipe
took.
took Earth 1.
Yeah,
Oh, so
we'll see where it goes. Yeah, because I was gonna say Alchemist just took workers, so
whoa.
Fakirs, even if they were thinking about going double temple now, don't have the option to do it. So, but yeah, I wonder if
Yeah,
Felipe's. I wonder what his thought is on that. Maybe I mean gonna need coins now. I guess he's passing on to the 4 coins before anyone else passes, probably. But engineers could totally pass right now. I guess then he gets a spade, so he's happy. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I maybe Super was like regarding like not getting workers. Maybe he was just happy to go Temple and open double dig round 2 anyways. Like I was thinking that's another option for Curious, which is probably fine. Um, yeah, but relating to the Mermaid's Earth 1 pick, I'm just surprised because it seems like a really high scoring setup for them. There's a lot of coins in the bonuses. Like I mean, like I still think Fire 1 is worth it with that in mind. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely didn't expect him to take Earth 1. Like we'll see. I think we can reflect on this like later in the game and see if mermaids have like a smaller round four than they would have liked to, or can't get water one or something like that, and see kind of if we agree with the decision or not later on.
Totally. Yeah, the one thing you can say for it is that's going to hurt one of the opponents here. Engineers and Fakirs, I'm sure, would both love to have Earth 1. I mean, Engineers, you expect to. I mean, both Engineers and Fakirs, you're not expecting them to lose a ton of their natural hexes in this matchup, as far as I can see. And yeah, so it's probably going to hurt one of them at least. But yeah, I don't know. It seems sketchy on coins. We'll see.
Yeah, and so what's Mermaid's next round? Like it's a dwelling round too. You just want to really spread out then. Mermaids have one dwelling for sure. I don't know what else they're doing next round. So that's a bit slow for Mermaids for sure. And I guess losing C1 to Alchemist will be big for that, for not getting more that round. Although I think also the lack of leech hurts them there as well. Is that actually it's
Yeah,
a question? Is anyone having a big round two with this like low leech round one? I don't know. Not super clear.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I feel like alchemists are the big winner here out of all of this. They've secured Earth 1. They're going to have a booming economy no matter what. They got 6 workers going to the next round and infinite coins at this stage in the game, which always helps. So, and they're passing on to the spade. I mean, I would love to be alchemists here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this looks really good for Alchemists. You got three scoring bonuses in, like shift DPs in the game. No big building, but it's still like enough. And you can do Stronghold round three, maybe even Stronghold Sanctuary, like take Water one into your Stronghold then. Could be fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I
as
like
good as this
Alchemist a
track
lot too.
looks, totally, as good as this track looks for mermaids, I'd say it looks just as good for alchemists, or close at least. And they're cooking already, so we'll see.
So Fakirs go double dig here, right? Like,
Oh, they
yeah,
must. Yeah,
there's,
yeah.
for sure. There's no rush for it though. They could have done another action first, but like I still think they want their priest to fly, so there's no rush to do anything else. Like they might as well double dig first.
Yeah, so they're gonna
This
end up
looks,
on
I mean,
E8, G2 here, or maybe G2, I7. Probably they'll take E8, right?
I think E8, yeah, just to be central and to have. It probably doesn't really matter. They'll probably get both hexes before they expand range, anyways. This looks solid for Fakirs. Like I don't see anything wrong with this for sure.
Yeah, and that Air 2 might do some serious work based on how little each is going around so far. I'm trying to think mermaids, and normally you'd see mermaids and fakirs exchanging a lot of leech in the east, in the west here. And I guess, engineers are in the middle thing. There'll be some leech going around this round, but still it's not like there's any big amount of power from structures that's gonna happen this round either.
Yeah, the question is if Alchemists are going to beat Fakirs out to T2, E2, like that stretch. Fakirs don't have easy access to spades. Like they use both double digs in the center, which I think was a good move. But like there's no cult digs coming in. Maybe they're passing the spade bonus tile. Like they're in line for that, but it's hard to say right now. And so could definitely see Alchemist winning that race down in the west. And if that happens, I guess it is less leech for mermaids because well, unless Fakirs go E3 anyways, like it's hard to say.
Yeah, they
But
may. I
but yeah,
guess,
it's weird. It's a matchup where you expect a lot of leech, but we're really not seeing it. It's really funny.
yeah, it makes for an interesting game. I like this. I kind of like this. I feel a little bit like I gravitate towards classic settings like this, certainly myself, and I don't have a ton of level of comfort with fan factions and stuff. But I feel a little out of my element here. I'm like, this is not how this usually goes.
We're gonna see a lot of power action sitting this round.
Yeah,
There's only double
certainly.
dig taken. NGs have power now to do stuff, but
Yeah,
Alchemist are taking the power action.
yeah.
Mermaids maybe? I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
also
It
kind of
depends
curious
on.
about this.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm curious about the E10 start for Alchemist because if Zarito was on F5, he'd spade. Oh, sorry, I don't have the hexes on, so I mix them up sometimes. I probably should turn them on for talking. But if Zarito was on G5, he could spade F5 this round and go to three ship and get two more dwellings out
that's
and
kind of
end the
what I
round with
was.
Temple 7 dwellings.
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, I guess he was counting on engineers building around him on like E9, D7 and hoping for that. Otherwise, I'm not sure, unless he's got like some kind of crazy four town plan in mind, but I don't know. But in any case, so he digs D2 here. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
where you would put that spade, and I was eyeing that hex as well, given these placements. That definitely is going to hurt Fakirs. If they're going to get a second town, they pretty much have to do it in the north around B2 there, and I'm not sure they're getting all those hexes.
Yeah, Alchemist could take them. And I totally forgot that Alchemist run temp ship round one, and so they only have one shipping right now. Like it's easy to forget that sometimes. So they have no like I was thinking they were gonna dig B8 and go to 3 ship and get to B5, but that's not possible. So I guess with
True,
that in
but they
mind,
still
like
could
B2
have.
dig makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, they still could have gone H5 if they started on G5 though. But in any case, like
Yeah.
they're connecting north. You can see where they have at least three clear towns. Like we said though, we kind of I at least said I like their position given the economies of the other players. They've got Arth one locked up. And they go for the hard dig.
Ooh.
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
So they
So he
might
is getting
be.
Temple 7
Yeah,
dwellings. Huh.
yeah. That's the dream, right? You can't hope for much better than that as alchemists.
Town
Um,
space security. So I think right away I like that hard dig. Like whenever a hard dig can get you 2 dwellings down, like in a dwelling round, like in round 2, like it does here, I think it's worth it. For Alchemist, the extra points are this you're not going to score those points in other ways this game. It
totally.
doesn't really hurt your worker economy because you're getting 2 worker income back, or like it hurts it slightly, but not in a way that's bad for you. So I think it's a really sneaky hard dig from Zarito, and maybe justifies the E10 start because the advantage to E10 is you do get more leads from Engis. So Weber will come to E9 and give Zarito a 2-for-1, which he wouldn't get if he was on G5, and he's still getting Temple 7 dwelling. So I think maybe you can see kind of the rationale now behind going E10 over G5 here, which is
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Absolutely. No, it's all coming together. I like the hard dig too. I feel like that E2 hard dig from alchemists does a couple other things. One, we were talking about that hex tension with fakirs. Fakirs could jump there. Now they weren't able to do so this round without at the time when it was dug here, but like they could potentially have done so early next round if they really wanted to prioritize that. They could have jumped there first action next round or something like that. So it locks that up, locks up their easy town space, and it locks up a potential early town for them as well.
Yeah, exactly. With the stronghold next round, like you're just primed to hit a town. Like maybe round 4 is Alchemist. It's really straightforward. And early towns are just I think they're just good at Terra Mystica. Like if there's no town round, for me, I always look to town early because this the snowball from the resources is really helpful. And for Alchemist, yeah, getting a worker town or a priest town and using that to get digs up faster to get going is huge. So I think that's a really good thing. The one question and thing we haven't talked about is with the E10 start, is there any way Alchemists get cut off? Can they
Mm.
potentially lose B4 to Fakirs or B5 to Mermaids? And I think
Yeah,
B5 to Mermaids is definitely a possibility. So it's a risk of E10 for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wonder. And they also did choose. I didn't actually catch when this happened, but Alchemist chose to burn down below 6 power tokens. So if they're gonna double dig that
Mm,
hex before their digs are upgraded, they're gonna need to use 3 workers as part of that, at least 3.
right. And
Yeah,
I
in
don't think
chat,
they're
some
upping dig.
folks. Oh, sorry. In chat, folks are saying that Zarito's playing Alchemist here with no breaks. No breaks at all.
No, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, yeah,
I love it. It's what you love to see in a finals game, in a big game, right? Just go for it.
yeah.
Put on a show. All
So
right, let's look at some other games here. Let's
engineers,
stop
yeah, yeah.
fawning
Let's
over
look at
Alchemist.
engineers
Yeah.
because they're doing some like typical engineers things. They were bid down to oblivion. I think they started at 19 points or something like that, and
Mhm.
they're getting some good stuff going here. I'm seeing E9's an obvious build. D7, they can take single dig to take D7 this round. So they're going to be able to get out another 2 dwellings with Earth 1. That all looks pretty nice to them, for them, to me.
Yeah, it looks very solid in a dwelling ground. I mean, that's really good.
And their territory
So
looks
they're gonna end the
pretty
round with.
safe to me. What do you think? What do you see about like their expansion possibilities around 3 and beyond?
Oh, totally safe. Yeah, until Alchemists have digs up, like it's just totally safe. It's a really good color matchup for gray, and it's why I guess they're bid down so heavily. Is that there's really little red on NG's hexes. We'll have to see. The interesting tension will be in round 6, like when it's a dwelling round. Presumably, NGs are going to build up more in rounds 4 and 5 and want to have some dwellings to spread out in round 6, and that's going to be the point where Alchemists will be more than set up and potentially able to dig NG's hexes if they want to, and so that'll be kind of when there's some more tension on NG's hexes. But until then, they're just free to flow whenever they want,
Yeah,
um,
they just
which
got
is
to get
super
those
nice as NG's.
spades. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They just need spades. And for spade competition in this game, alchemists don't really want spades. They want to get their digs up and running. Mermaids do want some digs, I think. Fakirs I think with Alchemist being Fakir's to E2, I don't know if Fakirs want digs as much as they just want to go like Sanctuary next round and do an early range town and get more of
Mm,
their natural yellows that way. So
yeah,
if
yeah,
they
I
do
could see
that,
that.
at least there might not be a whole lot of spade competition, which is like definitely nice for NGs.
Yeah, and it looks like engineers are going to easily be able to stall the pass on the they're not even have to stall the pass onto the spade bonus tile right now too, so that looks great for them. Yeah, I mean next round they can, without even increasing chip, they can get out another 2 dwellings, assuming they take single dig here.
Yeah, which I think. Oh no, he burnt. What did he? Weber took a
Yeah, what did
priest.
he? Oh, he took a priest. Okay, he's bumping
Now, is he taking
Earth
single dig as well? Let's see.
coins.
Coins.
Okay, so
Okay,
he's
he's
gonna
advancing ship then.
upgrade ship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. He's very sure about this. I mean, these players are playing pretty quick going into round 3 here.
Yeah, I noticed that in the qualifiers too. There are some really fast plays. Like I think the 30-minute time limit has people a little jumpy.
I guess so. Yeah, it's funny
Maybe
because
there's
I
just not a lot of. I
was.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it makes sense. I saw at least one person saying that. I was in setting in like choosing the time settings. I was sort of thinking of 30 minutes as a long game of Terra Mystica. Like I'm a pretty slow live player personally. Whenever I get up towards the 30-minute mark, usually someone in chat is like, "Hey, can we speed it up?" But it's a totally different like psychologically when you see your absolute timer ticking down, it kind of messes with your head a little bit. When I used to it, if we play on BJ with like regular settings, right?
Yeah, I can see that too. I mean, I've never played like this before, and I can imagine it'd be a little bit of stress. Feeling
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
can't go too slow. I can't go too slow. I did notice Felipe was like he had 2 seconds on his clock in the qualifier game, so he used the most time of anyone. But he
Yeah,
kind of
he
timed it perfectly.
but see that's the thing is I mean he won by 1 point
Ooh.
and in this format time is a resource. I mean it's I guess it can be in a regular format too, but more so with these set timers. It's I feel like you kind of got to think of it as a resource. And he used it well.
Yeah, and so we have to comment here on the game again. There's a bit of a Water 1 rush going on. Fakiri's opened the round with Sanctuary Water 1, and Weber did a round 3 Sanctuary for Water 1. Weber
Ooh,
is a known early Sanctuary hater. And that's
yeah.
edgies too. Really?
You just don't expect to
You
see
think
that.
that's worth it?
I'm
Yeah.
surprised by it. I mean, particularly we were talking about how much he needs spades. We were talking about the lack of power going around in general. Still not a ton of leech going around. But what I'm seeing is he's going to have an early pass and he's going to get on temp chip. That's what I think he's eyeing in my mind, in which case he's going to have his spades for next round. He doesn't necessarily need uh, like the extra power from the second temple. Because to me, when you go sanctuary so early, it's missing out on that extra power from the second temple is the biggest bummer about it.
I mean, I think for me, what's sad is he could just get more dwellings out this round, right? Or I don't know exactly what he can get. I guess I haven't calculated too closely. He just had a spade and built a dwelling. But then, like, I worry about his round 4. Like, the Sanctuary is expensive for NGs, and he really wants to hit that TP round hard. I guess he'll town in the center, and I guess he'll use the town to get resources. Um, Maybe it's fine. I just didn't expect it for sure, especially from Weber. Like, he just, I thought he
Yeah,
hated early Sanctuary so much. And then the other thing is, I don't think there's actually a Water 1 rush here because Mermaids are just not taking Water 1. Felipe's on ship DP. He opened Earth 1. There's just no way he has the economy to Sanctuary for Water 1 here. So I think he could have delayed that to round 4 and maybe done a third temple for Water 1. I don't know if that's better or not. I'd have to analyze it a little more deeply, but I definitely didn't expect the Sanctuary. And
yeah,
then one more thing, there's a big building tile in, so there's not an extra way to score that other than the 5 points. But it does help you
yeah,
town in the center
yeah.
without a.
That's a good point.
So maybe that's what.
Yeah, I mean, he needs it in the center either way, but but definitely surprising. Whether or not it works out, we'll have to see. I'm gonna step away for just a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just ramble on for a while.
Okay, sounds good.
Um, what have we got? So Super Pass first. Another really fast round for Fakirs. He took his Water 1. He's at 59 points. Like he's got a points lead and he's got a lot of hexes to build. So it doesn't look too bad for him. He's passing on the TP tile, and so he's going to hit a couple Water 1 TPs next round. He's going to do a range town, try to get to territory, but he's going to score a lot of points. Super will definitely be ahead in points for a lot of this game. What else do we have? So Zarito went Stronghold, but not Sanctuary. Okay, so I thought he might Sanctuary Water 1 first before going Stronghold. Um, Instead, he just went Stronghold here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually a little surprised by that, but I guess there's no rush for Water One because again, mermaids aren't going to be able to take it, so he can kind of take it at his leisure. The question is, what else can he do with these resources if he's not doing Sanctuary? Maybe he just does like a couple more TPs next round instead. That could make sense. That could be good for him. But I don't think it helps him upgrade. Maybe it helps him upgrade Dig sooner. So maybe that's a good way to justify it, so you can beat Vicurious to B4. And what else? I haven't talked too much about Felipe about mermaids, and you kind of really see how crammed mermaids are here, right? They have temple, four dwellings. They're on three ships, so I guess he's going to spread out and build A4, I4, and H4. I guess he's going to end around with temple, seven dwellings, and passing for 9 points on ship DP. It's not that bad, but round four is going to be slower, and it's a TP round which you really want to hit. So I think that's where you're really going to feel the lack of fire one here for mermaids. They're going to be very tight going into round four, very coin tight going into round four, and you really want coins to be able to exploit that round because it's really valuable. It's the only TP round in the game. It's the only time to score extra points from TPs that aren't favor related. Um, Although that being said, like they're gonna pass into a coin bonus, so maybe that's fine too. I don't know.
All right, I am back. What did I miss?
Perfect timing. I was just done talking.
Okay, cool. I
Um,
can do some talking. Okay, well, we see single dig on B4 from Alchemist. They had enough power for that. So their connection's looking pretty safe to me. I think being one dig away at any point from making sure Fakirs don't somehow take that hex. Not that they Fakirs really care about it at this point, but I
yeah, and
imagine they'll
mermaids
be able to
went
let that
three
sit.
ship.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, mermaids went
Yeah.
three ships, so they're gonna go A4. They went I4. They're going H4, but basically that means they're not rushing B5. And so, like you're right. There's definitely I don't
Yeah.
think
Right.
Alchemist
Right.
gonna have
Mermaids can
any
still
problem
do
connecting here.
that. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that looks nice for them. So mermaids, where did mermaids come up with these coins?
They had some. They had just enough. Did he take a coins action? I actually missed it at the start of the round. I'm not sure.
I think Weber took it. No, Weber took it last round. Engineers took it last round. So yeah, so mermaids must have ended up with the coins action this round. Okay,
Yeah, he must
all
have
right.
taken it. Nice thing about having, I wonder if he actually needed that power from Shift DP for it. It's another reason why Shift DP can be so good for mermaids. Like it gives you the points, of course, which is huge, but mermaids don't generate their own power very well. And sometimes that three extra power is all you need for a coins action.
Yeah,
And for a faction that can get dwellings out so easily, like that really just snowballs things even more. So I have to look at the replay, but I wonder if that free power was enough for a coins action.
yeah, yeah. Makes sense. And I mean, passing for 9 here looks great. So mermaids are playing a little bit of a point greedy kind of game, but I like it, and they're going to be able to pass on to coins and spades. So they're not looking too bad, and they've got places for TPs. They've got at least 3 neighbors right now, or they've got 3 neighbors right now. So yeah, not
Yeah,
bad.
I was saying it's
Felipe's
a bit
working some
sad for them
magic
to be.
here.
He is. Like I was saying, it's a bit sad to be coin tight going into the TP round, but that's where you see the high coin nature of this game kind of really help you and really help out like the idea of taking Earth One is that you can pass into a bonus with 5 coins, help
Absolutely,
get a
yeah.
couple TPs out next round, and
Oh
he can
yeah,
convert a
okay.
couple
And
workers.
he can take
Yeah, he has so
A4
many
too.
workers. He doesn't have a problem converting a couple workers to coins here as well.
Yeah,
But I'll be curious how many TPs he does next round. Like that's a question. Like with Earth One, you don't want to kill your worker economy too badly. But I was kind of saying this is your only chance to score TPs in this game, unless you have Water One, and so it's a bit
right.
of a fine line, I think.
Yeah, okay. And then an alchemist, by the way, I
Ooh,
didn't comment on this, at least maybe you did when I was gone. Alchemists on 6 coins round 3. You don't see that too often at this level of play. But those are six
oh
points,
no,
basically, right?
yeah, I didn't notice that at all. I'm not sure. Again, these players are playing very fast, so I don't know what the
They
bonus
are.
options even were.
They are. Well,
It's easy to miss.
the one thing we know is that there's no big building bonus, right? Like you would expect that alchemists would be going after that type of bonus tile, but it's not in this game. So, you know.
Yeah, and a couple other things. So we saw Alchemist single dig before. They followed it up with another hard dig. So on like two early hard digs for Alchemists, which cures them the hex, and they're gonna get B5 no problem. But they also, again, I missed this because there's so much going on. But they slammed three priests to air. I don't know when this happened, but Alchemists are basically making 11 workers next round, so they're gonna have a
It's
pretty big round, I think,
absolutely
with this round
nutty.
four TPs.
Absolutely nutty. Yeah, I mean they got 2 priests off of their temple so far, and they took a priest action round one. So does that mean they must have gotten two priests in the meantime? Maybe one of them was a 5 power priest even. But I mean they've got more priests to air than the other players have to cults combined. The 3 spot on fire is still open, and if I'm Super Charney,
Wow.
I'm eyeing that 3 spot right now because to me what looks really nice is yeah, I think so. I was gonna say if I'm Super, I'm thinking to take the range upgrade town this round. You've got Water 1, and you've
Hmm.
got that town line up in the middle, and you're on the trading post pass tile. So if you can get a range town in the coins action, he's got 8 workers still. He's cooking. He can just fly all over the place, do as many trading post upgrades as his economy can handle. I think I like Fakir's overall here. I think their game is as far from perfect in terms of what it's looking like moving forwards. What do you think of Fakir's? What are you seeing?
I mean, they're scoring a ton of points this round. So I'm doing little calcs as you're talking. And on the TP tile, do you think Super gets out 4 TPs this round? Do you think he goes full greedy? Does 4 TPs of Rage Town and 2 dwellings? Is that possible? He needs another priest. So
You know,
that's like a bit
I
of a
think
reason to save your
yeah.
priest is because you want it to fly probably. But if you want to be super greedy as Fakir, it might be worth it. It's so many points they'd be scoring
I
with that
kind of
line if they
think
could pull it off.
so. I mean, what does your gut say in terms of what I don't have too much a sense of is like when I'm thinking through that line, I'm thinking, am I just getting fourth on network anyways? You know what I mean? Like alchemists are
Yeah.
beating me, engineers are beating me, mermaids look like they're cooking pretty good. Like, am I just getting fourth on a network anyways? Should I just go hard on TPs this round, hard on temples next round, and then get all of my 8 point dwellings out in the final round? Just hit all the naturals basically. Is that enough? Because he's not gonna have a lot of cult presence.
I mean, I think it has to be. I mean, it might not be enough. But I don't think you have another path, right? The second town for Fakirs looks really awkward. They don't have Earth one, they have Water one, and so I think like I think you said, like they're not beating NGs or Alchemists on network pretty clearly. So I think you kind of have to go points greedy as Fakirs here. Just try to hit the only TP round in the game while you're on the TP tile. Like hit that super hard, get some round 6 dwellings. Even maybe do a little dig bombing in the end if you need to. Like try to score points any way you can this game. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think with the two other like big network factions in, with losing E2, E3, like losing easy second town space. I kind of think you just have to do that kind of line here and hope it works out.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. In chat, Red Ram saying he thinks Fakirs have a chance against this NG game on network. Yeah. Jekyll saying this NG game looks kind of slow. Was that Jekyll said that? Someone. What am I? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of chat coming in. I'm definitely not keeping up with chat here. Um, But I mean, to me, I'm seeing double dig sitting there with engineers and fakirs both kind of within reach of it. Are you considering that as fakirs here? I
Hmm.
feel like as engineers, you either want power or a priest cult in order to secure that. Because with ship up, as long as you can get coins going into next round, you can get a lot of dwellings out this round. I mean, I guess engineers
Yeah,
have a lot of ways they can go here, but to me, I want more dwellings out as NGs here.
I think for NGs, yes, but they're so coin tight now because they went Sanctuary round 3
Yeah.
that I don't know. I mean, I assume they're taking a coin town. Like that's my first thought of NGs here is I'm doing 2 TPs in the center, taking a coin town.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
then they're
Yeah.
kind of low on work. They're on dwelling VP and they're kind of low on workers, so maybe not. Like it all looks awkward.
Yeah. It is,
Um,
isn't it?
and I think it does boil down to the round 3 Sanctuary as well as not getting great early leech. Like maybe they should have upgraded F6 first. Not like a minor thing, but
Yeah.
although that being said, they're getting leech from Fakirs. They're getting a nice 5 for 4 right here.
Oh, but
Never
they're only
mind,
getting
they
one.
only can take one
Yeah, yeah, they were
power.
capped. So I mean, that gives them double dig if they want it, but that hurts. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that actually does
I
really
guess
hurt.
you gotta conserve a little bit as NGs since you started with such a point deficit. But okay, but they go coins.
Yeah.
So
Um,
if he's going coins, maybe he's just gonna hit some high point towns. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I was a little surprised Super Zarni didn't take coins, although because I think he might want a few coins still. I would not have taken double dig as Fakirs. I think it's more important to take resources and do other things this round. But
Yeah,
I thought he might go coins action.
there's just so
Because I
many
think he's
coins on
going to
the
convert power to
pass is
coins
the thing.
anyways.
Yeah.
That's
There's
true.
just so many, like even the temp shipping tile is 4.5 coins for super, and that's like is there. I mean, there's no way he's stuck with that. If anyone passes he gets more coins basically. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe I mean I see what you're saying. It is really coin rich on the pass,
it
particularly in
is.
this
Yeah, it's a question if
position.
he's going to do conversions this round anyways to coins, and it's like you might as
Hmm.
well. Although there's a tempo concern too, I guess. Maybe it's hard to say. But what we
Yeah.
haven't talked about yet is the point deficit. So look at NG's points compared to everyone else's points.
Oh
Like that's a
my,
big gap to make up.
it
Pickles was
is.
pointing out in the chat. I think other people were as well. It's a lot of
Yeah,
points to make up here.
that's a lot of points to make up. It looks like Super might be going 4 trading posts. I mean, I would probably keep it at 3. Like right now, he's got 4 dwellings he could get out. I don't know. I guess why? No reason not to go 4 trading posts here, right? It's
I
flashy. I'll
think I
give
would
him
do it,
that. I'll give him that.
but I'm a greedy player, so I think I would do it. It's just it looks too fun to me to resist.
Yeah.
I so they could do one more. I think Super if he takes a priest action, then what? He has 7 coins. It's just enough for another TP and 2 more dwellings. I definitely would do that
Okay.
as Fakir's
Yeah,
did. And
yeah.
you're at like almost 110 points at the end of this round after that. Like that's nuts.
I mean, that's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. How could you not do that?
that is pretty crazy. Yeah, and that's kind of the nice thing about this format too, when it's like a winner takes all situation and the field is so strong. Um, it's just you got to go for broke. You got to go all gas, no brakes, as
Hmm.
people were saying. But I
Totally.
like that. I like that. Like playing for second place is nothing here. Um, yeah. So I guess I'm saying that in response to you saying you would go for trading post here's for Kiers because it's greedy and you tend to play greedy. I think this is regardless of player style. I think this is the perfect situation to get greedy. I guess that's mostly what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think
And I
so too. And
expect,
I don't
yeah,
know, like, I don't know what Fakir's do without, like, I don't know how they score more points if they don't build that fourth TP. Like, it's
yeah,
not clear the extra worker income is going to be that important for them here.
yeah,
And
true.
I think he's doing it. He took a priest, so he's flying at least. That's, I think, pretty clear.
Yeah, yeah. 2 flights,
Uh,
easy, and then 1 trading post, right? Yeah, there it is.
yeah, exactly.
That's
So
nice. I
let's look
mean,
at
the
we haven't
power
really looked at.
income. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say one more thing about Fakirs before we move on. The
Oh, go
power
ahead.
income from once you
Yeah.
get that third and fourth trading post out, um, everyone knows the trading posts are gonna help your coin income, but the power income is not negligible when you're on 4 trading posts as Fakirs.
Hmm.
So anyways,
Totally.
who do we look at next? You were gonna talk about alchemists, or
I was gonna say mermaids or alchemists, one of the two, because we talked about NGs, we talked about Fakirs this round. Let's look at mermaids. So Felipe's done a couple TPs. He's at 9 workers, 0 coins. Do you do a third TP? Do you convert 3 workers to coins here for a third TP?
Hmm.
Or do you hard dig and do a dwelling, like on C4?
I don't
What
know.
do
I
you do?
mean, what does he need right now? Does he need to balance his economy more? Or does he need to jam points more? I think it sort of depends on what his bonus tile prospects look like for the rest of the game. That's what I'd be thinking of if I was him right now. Because if he can get on dwelling
Right.
scoring and then ship scoring, he doesn't need the points as much as maybe he wants to push network. See if he can beat NGs. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I don't know either, to be honest. I'm not sure what the better move is. Mermaids do have a lot they want to do. They still want to bridge from F2 to H2. I'm trying to figure out where their second town is. Like, are they sanctuarying? Are they taking C4 and then doing a sanctuary town there? Are they going H4, H5,
Yeah,
I9, I10? Like, where? I don't think they're getting 3 towns. With Earth 1, I don't think you can do that with
I don't
the,
think so, but I'd
like,
imagine
what's
they're
been a lower
invested in
econ game for
C4.
mermaids. Like,
Yeah. By the way,
it's not clear,
speaking of
right?
flashy, engineers just took a power town to get up to 6 power.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh man.
You don't see that every day either.
Beautiful.
And
No, and so they're getting 2 more dwellings out with
yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah,
3 more. Okay. That's it. Yeah, that's exciting. So they're what the engines are digging D7 and G3, right? And then probably converting the priest to a worker, doing 3 dwellings there.
D7,
So they ended the
G3.
round with sanctuary, temple, 2 TPs, 5 dwellings.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
mean
makes a lot of
that's
sense.
that's solid. That's
Yeah.
really solid. I mean that hits the right kind of threshold for you said 5 dwellings, right? Yeah, so that'll get them 4 workers off their dwellings too, which is just exactly what you want, rather than leaving like an open
Oh,
gap,
that's a
right?
nice move. And so if
Yeah,
Weber's able to come
I
back
like
and
this. I
win this
like
game, we got
this.
to talk about that. Like we got to talk to him about that if he's able to
Yeah,
come back and win here.
yeah, that's nuts.
I like it too. No, I think it's smart.
Yeah. Meanwhile, okay, take a look at these cults. There's like nobody in the middle of the cults at all. And fakirs with no priest cults. Not that you expect to see much different at this point in the game, but I don't know, it's interesting. I'm sort of foreseeing with the
Yeah.
direction the game's going here, I'm sort of foreseeing in rounds 5 and 6, we might see a lot of tension and fireworks and effort focused around bonus tiles that score and cult fights. Because even if it's bottom of the ladder, I think
Mm.
these cults are going to shake out. There could be a lot of really big swings. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As you're talking, I'm wondering who's getting second on all of these cults. There's going to be some cheap seconds likely available. Again, like you said, Fakir is not wanting to send a lot of priest to cults. Mermaids going Earth 1 and lower econ means they'll have less to do with cults, to spend on cults likely later in the game.
Hmm.
Um,
Mermaids, by the way,
and
they do
yeah,
choose to make that
Alchemist,
third trading post you're talking about on F2. They just did that.
nice. I think I like that, but it's not an easy decision.
No, definitely not. I mean, they
But I
still have
guess
seven
it's a
orders in
good thing
hand. It's
for
crazy.
yeah, it's a lot. But they still are producing enough. I think it's okay.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's nice for maybe nice for NGs that like there's still a little cult competition. Like NGs they got that priest of fire and like who's fighting them up fire? I guess alchemists fight them up fire
I think whoever
eventually,
it's
but
the Tukey town
I don't
fights
know.
everyone and everything. I think Tukey looks amazing right now.
And I mean, if there's a tie, that's somewhere in the tiebreakers, right? The Tuki Town.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, yeah. So the way we set it up here is the first tiebreaker is just performance in round one, which now that I'm saying it, I've given it no thought. I've not calculated those out yet. But basically, how well if there's a tie, how well each of the players performed in round one relative to everyone else at the table they played at will be the tiebreaker. So unlikely to have that not resolve it. But if that doesn't work, then it does go to Tukey Town. Sorry, correction. The first tiebreaker before it even goes to first round performance is leftover resources. So if one player has an extra coin or 2 power and bowl, 1 power and bowl 2 more than another player, the leftover resources do break the tie first.
I'm really rooting for a Tuki Town tiebreak win for somebody
Oh, I would love that.
more than anything in this game. That's what I want to see. A tie game, a four-way tie, and everything else equal, and then whoever took the Tuki Town wins. That would be just an incredible end of the tournament.
4-way tie. I mean, we've already seen two pretty close games. We could see another. We'll see. I mean, at this point, do you like anyone's position enough to declare them your front runner? To me, it looks
Oh
pretty
gosh,
competitive. It looks like
I feel like I'm
most
so
do.
bad at trying to figure it out. Um, yeah, no, I don't love Mermaid's position. Like it looks hard for Mermaids to me. Just having to. Well, they do have two cult things coming in, true. But still, like the towning looks really awkward for Mermaids. I think Alchemists are better than Mermaids if I had to make a judgment between those two.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
it's hard to compare. Like Super's got so many points coming in this round, but he is going to have less to do in the last two rounds and no cults and nothing in the end, like no network. Well, maybe third on network, but not more than that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
NGs
speaking
are
of network,
behind
by
in
the way,
points.
yeah,
Well,
NG's. I just want to interject for a second. NG's decided to
okay.
build a third trading post instead of get up more dwellings, so now they're on 3 worker income here.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Um, Greeting that third TP, which is interesting, and I wonder what the plan is next round. Like, I mean, I feel like they want Temple Air 1 next round, but they also feel like they have to get their worker economy going more as well.
Yeah,
But I guess
yeah.
you could justify as NGs. Maybe you just get an easy second on network. Like maybe NGs just need 14 structures here. Let Alchemists are winning network. That's clear, I think.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think there's much competition for that. So maybe
yeah.
you just sell for second, try to commit more to cults. But with round six dwellings, it's just natural to want to build more anyway. So yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know. I mean, it also should be said that engineers have 2 dwellings on the board, and they're on dwelling scoring for this round. So
Yeah,
that's like a little extra
that's
motivation
a
not to
little.
go hard on trading posts. But I mean, Weber knows what he's doing. But I'm really curious to see where it's all going. I'm so sorry. I have to step away for another second because my device that I'm monitoring, like Twitch and Discord on, just died. So I'll be right back. I just gotta grab my charger.
No, no problem. That's fine. I'll ramble on a bit more. So let's look at Zarito. We haven't talked about Alchemist for a bit, other than we think they're doing well. They're on ship BP here, and they're on 3 ship now. So the scoring is coming in for Alchemist. They took a Priest Town this round, I think, which was advanced shipping. They also, so I noticed Cerrito single dug D8. He still hasn't had digs up, and it's kind of interesting seeing a later dig advance game for Alchemist. Alchemist might actually wait till round 6 to advance digs. Like I kind of wonder if like they're probably going into next round with just one priest production, and I guess they could take a priest action and do 2 dig advances next round. Maybe they want to, but you also could wait until later here and maybe just use priest to fight cults instead and take the extra coins from the cults for as VP and just do digs round 6. Like I don't think their territory is threatened, so they definitely could do that. Um, which
I'm
would be
backing
cool,
this
like an
one.
Alchemist game with 2 early hard digs, 2 single digs, and then late dig advances is not something you see every day, and so I think it's a really cool line from Zarito as well.
Yeah, I feel like I
Was just
think
I
of
don't know. Yeah, I don't know
Cerrito.
if you heard me, Lustrous.
Sorry.
Did you hear? I was just like saying he wasn't advancing digs yet.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I feel like I think of Cerrito as a very creative player, um, able to find some lines or try some lines that most people wouldn't dream of or have the have the chutzpah to go through with, you know.
Right. I always just think of him as a very good player. I
Yeah,
haven't
I mean,
played him enough
there
to
is
know like
that.
other tendencies.
There
He's
is
both.
that.
I guess he's probably both good and creative, and he likes ugly matchups, and he likes giants. That's the kind of like
I
the
mean,
things I
what's
know
not
about
to
him. But
like?
I bet you've played him more than me. So
I'm not sure I have. I just feel like I've somehow watched a couple of his games. I don't do a ton of spectating. I guess I don't know why I have a good sense of Cerrito. But I will say Cerrito was joking that I jinxed him in qualifying. I don't remember how this came up in conversation, but said something about like, "Oh, don't jinx me. I want to make sure that I qualify," and then proceeded to go on I think it was almost a 10-game win streak after that. Like Cerrito shot up from somewhere in the 600s to almost 700 elo over the last couple weeks. Uh, so
man,
checked in to make sure he was still in for the tournament. He was like, "Oh yeah, I just won like 9 games in a row. We're good." So it's like, "Oh my god."
and so if he can cap that with a win here, that'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, but
I
like you say,
also
he's a good player. That's the big thing. All these players are good
yeah.
people.
A couple other comments. First of all, I screwed up something in my calculations for Fakir's because Super he did the 4th TP. He did do 2 flights and he's finishing with 101. I thought he was at 109 or something. I don't know what I was calculating,
Oh, I
but
see. I
anyways, he
see.
did do the full greed round, the full TPs,
Oh, maybe did
which
you
I
have him
like. And
with
but yeah,
Earth One in hand? Maybe something like. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. But I mean, still passing over 100 going
yeah,
into this round is not bad at all.
yeah,
And so
it's very fun.
there's that power income too I was talking about. Like with 4 trading posts on the board, he's got he's got 10 power income. It's crazy. Like
Yeah,
that's yeah. So there's
it's
gonna be
nice. I
some
mean, for Fakir's
yeah.
the resource flexibility is really nice. So he could take workers next round, do another temple. He could take spades to get some dwellings out if he needs.
Oh
Like
yeah.
maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't need spades, but I don't know. He's got some options as Fakir's, I think, which is nice. And then I think to talk about a little bit more about Zarito, the nice thing about not advancing digs early is he's had a lot more workers here, which he could use to hit the TP round. He chose not to go for water 1, which again is just sitting there, but I think he'll take it round 5 if he can, and I don't think mermaids care that much. Like I think Alchemist can still get water 1 here.
Yeah.
The sad thing for Alchemist is not having a neighbor in the north, like A8, B4, B5. Like mermaids have not come to C4, and it's not clear what mermaids are doing, like if they're going to come to C4 or not. It's so hard to tell them for me. So if Alchemists don't get a neighbor there, that's a little sad, but it's Alchemist. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. They can just it just costs them a few victory points
Yeah, it's
to
not
do a
like it's gonna
town there.
hinder
Then
their ability, but it could cost them up to 6 points, which is not insignificant. Yeah.
they
Yeah,
also do. I'm
yeah.
wondering if Alchemists send priests to cults this round. They only have 1 priest coming, but I do wonder. Well, they already have 3 priests to cults, so they're getting a lot of coins. They might have some extra coins to use for expensive TPs. Like maybe it's okay.
Yeah. This is, by the way, one of my favorite types of setups. I absolutely love round 4 and round 5 tempo round, not because of the scoring, but
Mm,
because of the cult bonus. Just like being incentivized to throw priests to cults throughout the game, and then having multiple players cashing out with 6, 8, 10 coins going to the final round is just like, oh, I love that.
yeah, and it's kind of funny though. because usually in those games there's a lot of cult competition because everyone just wants to jam those priests to cults. And we talked about how low cult this game has been because
Yeah,
there's such a good
absolutely.
payoff with that temple round. I mean, players are still going to hit it. I guess in round five, like you're always getting coins from it, and maybe it's not as important to jam priest there early for a round five temple round as is might be for like a round three or four temple round. But still, I think so. Fakirs are not going to get any coins from that. Well, alchemists will get a lot. We said that. Engies are producing two priests. I guess they're sending two priests to cults. I guess mermaids will have three priests and cults probably. So there'll be a fair amount of coins, but not as many as you sometimes see in that kind of game.
Right. Yeah. All right. Wow.
So
And
we
so
see
these, yeah, they're playing pretty quick too. I expect they'll slow down a little bit once they have to evaluate passing tempo and, like I said, cult competition, town space, all sorts of stuff going into this last round. But they have managed to play pretty quick here. I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
yeah, they have Felipe's taking some time now actually to think about cult digs, and I was kind of thinking about where he wants them. Although he also said he'd be right back, so he might not actually not be thinking. I'm I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
sure.
fair. That's fair.
But it's a good question. Where do you put cult digs as mermaids here? Like I keep trying to think of what the plan is for mermaids, and it's not easy to figure out. Like
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, their resources look great. And they do, and they take coins. Okay. Yeah, I mean they've burned down below 6 now too. I don't know. So they're going for a south town there. That's interesting.
yeah, I guess it's kind of an anti-sanctuary move. I think what it's saying is that mermaids don't want to do a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Because if they wanted to do a sanctuary, you'd go C4. I don't think there's no risk. You could cult dig C4, and alchemists are not taking that away. Like alchemists want you on C4 as a neighbor. So it's pretty clear that I think Felipe wants to double dig I8 here, maybe I9, but I don't know if he's beating NGs there. Yeah,
I
this is
can
this is
imagine.
definitely a
Yeah.
signal of two towns, no sanctuary.
Yeah.
But he still needs bridge. Um, like if I'm mermaids, I'm eyeing that ship DP bonus just sitting there right now. It's juicy. Like mermaids
Oh,
want that in
it's
round
so
six so
juicy. Yeah.
badly.
But they got so many
Um,
resources they want to do. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess they could go temple. I'm not sure. I don't know what I would do as I'm not sure what I would do as mermaids here.
I mean, I think I would do Temple Air 1. How do you resist that? Like,
Yeah, I
that
mean
seems too
that's just
juicy
sitting
not to do.
there.
Um, Otherwise, I guess you probably build a couple of dwellings. You probably still want the workers. And then, uh, do you like double hard dig I9 or something crazy like that? Um, if you're gonna do that anyways, it's like you might as well do it. Well, I don't know. I guess you could wait to next round and score with dwellings. So like, or do you plan on advancing digs to hit that?
I say,
If you
hear me
advance, it
out.
leaves you.
The
Yeah.
halfway advanced dig. You know he can afford this
Oh,
round. So you go H5, build the temple for air one, and then you advance digs, double dig, I9. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, so mermaids, we're thinking mermaids are only getting 2 towns. I mean, the south town is so interesting to me. I guess that's where the neighbors are. That's where the leeches. But yeah, I don't know.
I think it's just where the hexes are as well.
Yeah,
The
I guess
northeast town
so.
again.
Yeah, because
Because
otherwise it's
sanctuary
just
doesn't look great here.
C4A11 and that's it. So
Yeah, so I think the south town does make sense. Um, yeah, the partial big advance is interesting. The downside is that's one less priest to cults, and like in this with round five temples and low cult pressure or like open cults this game, that's a really valuable priest to cults. So it's hard to say. Um, the big advance saves workers and is 6 points. So I don't know. I still don't know what the best path is for mermaids. I think they're definitely the
I'm
toughest to
not
play here of all the
sure.
factions.
I could see a bunch of lines for mermaids. I mean, they could go hard on temples, hard on dig advances, hard on ship advances here, but they got to make sure they have tempo on getting on that ship tile if so. And or they could just play a little bit more in the middle. They could, you know, go with one temple, build out some of their dwellings early, make sure to press network a little bit rather than just punting it. I'm not sure. They could I mean, 3 towns is out of the question at this point, we think, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I
Yeah.
would do. I have all the confidence that Felipe's got uh, a good plan in mind, and in about a round from now, we're gonna go, oh, like I feel like it's all gonna come together one way or another for him, regardless of which direction he goes. But we'll see.
See, I'd love to say he has a good plan, but he just undid his move.
Oh, I
So now
missed
he's
that. I
thinking,
missed
spending
that.
the time to
Okay.
think. But he's a really good player, so he'll have a good game no matter what. There
Yeah.
is pressure on ship VP, like because Alchemists have got to be eyeing that up. Zarito did Temple for Water one this round, kind of like we thought he might. But I don't think there's a whole lot more that Alchemists want to do this round. Like, yeah, maybe you could do another Temple for Air one, but you're not scoring many points with that. They're on Dwelling VP, but they don't want to build a lot of TPs and Dwellings because they're actually not worth a lot because next round's a Dwelling round, so you score more points with that. And so I think it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense for Alchemist to have a pretty quick round here. So there is pressure, I think, on that Ship DP bonus, even though we're like just in the second actions of the round. So
Totally.
that adds the tension for Mermaids for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest challenge is that mermaids passed early, got their coins. I think they passed early. I think they had some amount of resources left, got their coins, which they desperately needed. But now they're stuck wanting a long round, but needing a bonus tile. Yeah, I mean, for alchemists, I feel like if I'm alchemist, the way I'm thinking of it right now is like, what is the shortest round I can have while still winning network? Because either way, you're going to score for those structures. They've got Earth 1, Water 1, and the sooner they pass, the sooner they score the dwelling points off the round scoring as well, like you mentioned. So it's like, how quick of a round can I have, get on that ship VP while still making sure that I win network and get my towns?
Yeah, I guess looking at it a little more closely, one consideration for alchemists that indicates like Shift TP may not be that important for them is that they are in line behind engineers to get the NG's TP tile. And I'm pretty
Yeah,
confident alchemists can outweight NGs here.
yeah, that's a
Well,
fair point.
they can,
I
but they
mean,
don't
they
have
don't
digs
have
up.
digs
So
upgraded.
without
Yeah,
digs up, yeah, not so
yeah.
clear, right?
I mean, if they get a little
Huh.
bit more power, they could. Nope, they can't. They have literally no way to get a priest unless they make a town right now. They only have that one priest in hand, and the priest action's taken.
Ooh. I was wondering, well, you just did Temple for Air 1. So Zarito could do a dig advance, do like a two worker dig on F7, build a dwelling, do a TP on F7, and a two worker dig on E11 and build a dwelling to town. But that's like two worker
Yeah,
digs
that's
before you
true.
can get digs fully up.
That's not too
So
bad
is
though. I
that
mean, it's basically just two extra workers. I think he's got the workers to spare. He can always take a worker town to supplement.
yeah,
I'm not sure those are contested. I
it's
kind of
not too
like that.
bad.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
I don't
you get
know.
a worker
We'll
back on the
see.
TP tile next round, but you could just take Shift DP too. It's like is that just better? Right? Then saves you a worker, gives you one extra point next round, which is something I guess.
I guess it
I
depends how much
don't know.
you think that mermaids are your threat. 'Cause so what happens if alchemists? We've got 3 scoring tiles, and so if alchemists are the first to pass here onto ship scoring, then I guess mermaids are next in line to take the dwelling tile. And if that happens, then Engis and Fakirs could both miss out.
Right. And so this round, we didn't really talk about it, I guess, but Alchemist on Dwelling VP and Engi's on the TP tile. So both those two are on a pass tile, not for Mermaids and Fakirs.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
And
Good
then
point.
for Fakirs, Super did a Temple for Air 1, which I think makes a lot of sense. And now he just dug and flew to H3, but didn't build. So he's really greeting points. Like you see the greeting points
Yeah.
idea for Fakirs here. Converting a
Absolutely.
priest to 4 points, basically, which actually is that worth it with the cult so open? Like a priest to fighting second on fire and getting coins back? Is that really
It's a
hard to
good
say? That's a swing
question.
on other factions. Yeah.
I wonder how much of that is also just a tempo consideration. Is that extra move going to potentially get him a bonus tile with points on it going into the last round? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what I would have done there.
Maybe. It's awkward for Fakirs because they're behind mermaids in pass order and mermaids don't have a good bonus for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Six coins does nothing for them. They shift DP is useless. Like they don't have any reason to pass early onto that other than
Of
to deny
course.
other factions. So it's like it seems very hard for them to get a scoring bonus in round 6 here.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So we also I saw Weber took the 11-point town. Did at least one TP in the East. Maybe he did a second this round. No, he did one TP this round in the East. One 11-point town, which again as NGs is interesting because resources can snowball so nicely. But I guess like it's pretty clear to me he's just planning on uh, he has to want to do Temple Air 1 this round, right? I
You
know he's
would
in the TP tile.
you would think so. He's got the resources to do that, and no, he can't quite upgrade ship and get out another dwelling. Yeah, no, he can. He can upgrade ship and get out another dwelling too. That's what I would be doing. Oh, and look, Cerrito. with the monopoly on air cult here. 4 priests to cult, all on air cult, closing it out. I love to
Yeah.
see it.
I actually
It's,
like that, and I'm someone in the comments mentioned this. I think that he could do that. He could always just do a hard dig or a single dig action, like a hard dig to get the power, and then he could single dig. Like he can still delay and build. I don't know. I think this makes a lot of sense. Get the extra coins back from the priest.
oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, no,
Uh,
no, I wasn't
Power.
really commenting on the use of the priest so much as just I love to see a flush on one of the cults. You know.
Oh, but
Oh, and we do see the
okay.
early
So
pass. Okay. All right, here we go.
okay, so there's a Rita pass on Ship VP. Another thing we missed that Drain just pointed out in the chat is that Weber missed out on Air One. There was an Air One rush this round.
Wow.
Mermaids took
Okay.
Air One.
Yeah, I
Alchemist took
missed
Air One
that.
earlier. Here's the Air One. So Weber went Water 2.
Water two. I mean, we think there's cult points to be
Wait,
had. I like it. I mean, he's winning 2 cults with an easy second right now. I mean, I don't know about an easy second, but he can defend it with his favorite tile. Only thing is, he doesn't have
I've
any
seen
more
what.
towns coming in, so other folks can be able to take the 2 key and the 8 pointers to press those cults. So we'll see. But
Yeah,
it's
unbelievably,
a
all the cult towns are still there.
yeah, yeah. It's funny.
But I think like there's an argument that maybe this Water 2 is better than Air 1 because the cults are so open. Like second on water is wide open. The question is how much. I was wondering how much Zarito would do in cults late in the game, but he's already built all of his temples, and I don't think he's going Sanctuary this game unless I'm missing out. So he's not. I don't know if he's gonna be taking like three-step favors, stuff like that. So maybe the seconds on cults are just like so open that it's the extra cult steps from Water 2 are actually like basically as good as everyone anyways. I don't know.
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, because I mean, we're assuming 2 of Alchemist's priests are earmarked for dig upgrades next round. They gotta be. It's just good points,
Yeah,
and that's his expansion in towns right there. So
yeah, it has to be. And I also like look at Zarito's at 84 points on Chip VP. He's got a lot of coins next round, so he's not actually going to convert that many VPs to coins, and he's got a lot of structures to build. He's got a lot coming still. He's got 2 more towns coming, network locked up, air cult locked up. I think he's in a pretty good spot.
yeah, and Meep Meep in the chat saying Alchemist should probably open coins action next
Mm.
round, or maybe should open coins action. I think absolutely. I think there's no reason not to. It denies it to someone at the table. Not that anyone needs it too badly. And it's just 3 points probably.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And I'm usually someone who's not like I think coins actions round 6 in particular are overrated, like overrushed by a lot of players. But I think here for Alchemist, that makes a lot of sense. I don't think you need workers, and even if you do, I feel like you can take worker towns, like you can hard convert to worker, like you'll be fine. I think
Yeah.
you definitely take coins. Oh, we have a second water too.
Second
We have a
pass.
Fakir's taking water
Yeah.
too.
And Weber gives up the water 2 step. Doesn't use the water 2 step to get onto this pass tile.
Mm,
I gotta say, I have no idea where it's gonna
nice.
land, but this is a very interesting engineers game. I feel like all game I've been trying to predict what Weber's gonna do, and I've been just wrong every time.
He's still
Where's
up
this
on point,
footprint
really,
landing?
right?
So like, without I6, I was eyeing I6 earlier. I don't think I said anything about it, but as like important for late game expansion, and Mermaids locked that up. So I guess NGs could still get on 3 ship and hit I5. I don't know. Like, where are they? How much are they even expanding realistically in this last round?
I mean, I feel like they're getting 5 dwellings out still, right? Are they? Wait, are they?
Where would they double dig?
Um,
So they have double dig in hand, but they're only on 1 ship.
yeah, they need to go to 3 ship for sure, but they have so many coins coming in, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Um, they have I5 still. Like they can single dig I5 and they still have G1 and F1 with that.
Okay, so I see. They can take either single dig or double dig. Okay, that makes sense. So they'll do early ship in
Yeah,
phases. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
yeah,
a lot of
Weber's still
points
got a
coming in
lot
for
here.
engineers. I mean, engineers' resources are always a little bit sneaky. It's like, oh, they only got 4 workers in hand, but that's plenty.
Yeah, they are. I know. You got to be careful looking at NGs. I have to be careful. At least I find they always have more than I think they have.
Yeah, and they've got five. They've
The
got
question,
essentially 5 point dwellings coming this round. Have however many dwellings they can get out. They're basically 5 points apiece. So, and their cults look good. That network's going to be competitive. Not for first, we don't think, but it looks pretty good. And yeah,
yeah.
mermaids
Oh
locked out
wow.
of bonus tiles for the last round. No points for them.
Yeah, so Felipe did Temple for Fire too, um, which I guess he needs for two towns and Bridge. He has stuff he wants to do, but Fakirs do get a scoring bonus, so they get the TP tile. They're at 120 points going into round six, like a dwelling round. Super has three natural yellows, so build on no problem.
Hmm.
Um, and then he can do more TPs if he wants. Yeah, he still got some stuff coming too. He just has very little end game, which is sad. I
Yeah, it's
don't
true.
think he can tie NGs on network either. I don't think he can get to 14 structures. Am I? Yeah. Yeah, no, he needs two more hexes for that. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't see it. But I mean, he's like almost, let's see, with Air One. Well, he's like 30 points ahead of some of his competition. I guess it's not crazy. I was gonna say 40. It's not quite that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of
who do you
in-game
like
points.
here? What do you okay, looking at this final round and now seeing how the pass tiles are shaking out, what are you thinking? Who are you scared for here? Who are you liking?
Oh man. I was a lot more scared for NGs than I maybe should have been in the mid game because like Weber's game looks a lot better than I thought it was going to now. Like with open hexes, the question is Cerrito gonna dig his hexes? I mean, I know alchemists are doing very well. But like I think that's pretty clear to me. Is it better than NGs? Like I think NGs are doing more in cults than alchemists. But alchemists are doing more in network. They're both scoring bonus points. NGs have more points right now. I think I'm the most. I think Felipe's in trouble. I don't feel like he can make up this deficit as mermaids without Shifty P round six, and
Yeah,
no scoring bonus in general. Like I don't see
yeah.
how Felipe can win this, and I don't think Super has enough. I think he needs more endgame. I feel like it's between Alchemist and NGs, but let's see. I could definitely be
Okay.
wrong with this.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
And if I had to pick, I'll probably take Alchemist. Like Cerrito has so many resources.
I think so. I mean, with those
um,
dig advances is basically like a 12-point town. He's got two more towns coming on top of that. And we said it's gonna go into next round with 20 something coins, 20 something workers.
yeah,
So
that's a lot. Yeah, that looks, and with control over NGs in a way too as Alchemist, like that looks super nice to me.
true. Yeah, good point.
And Cerrito is down to 11 minutes. Like he has time to consider if he wants to block or not. Like kind of an interesting point. Like Felipe is getting down to 5 minutes, and so if he was trying to decide whether to block down the clock, it might be a lot harder. With more time, it can maybe make a more accurate decision with regards to that.
Yeah, yeah, good point. And Keslu pointed out in chat that both players who took Water 2 passed up on the Water 2 cold step for the last round. It's crazy. And I wonder,
Love
so
to
as
see it.
alchemists, tell me how you think about this, but as alchemists, that early pass is really interesting. We are talking about the possibility, we were sort of tracking it, and then it happened. How much of that do you think, if you're in Zorito's shoes there, how much of that are you thinking, if I pass early, it's sort of all the same to me, but it hurts my opponents? Because it looks like folks gave up some actions they would have preferred to take last round. And, or at the very least,
Hmm.
engineers of Gears didn't take the cult step that they would have wanted to take. So, how much of that is a consideration when you're doing that early pass as alchemists there?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's a like good justification for doing the early pass. Like it's certainly not the only reason, but it's an extra little
Yeah,
reason why you would do it.
yeah,
He also gets coins action here, which is like three extra points. So think of it that way.
right.
Um, I like Shifty P is one extra point. It's a little bit better, and it's this way is better in his workers. Like he's not doing weird hard digs. He just gets an advanced dig and then dig all he wants. Like so,
Yeah,
yeah. I
looks
think it's the
pretty
right
good.
move, and I think that adds to the equation, making other players do awkward things. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I like alchemists here, but it's hard to say. We'll see where everything lands. And but looking for Kier's coins though, this is where you'd really love to have the landscape as for Kier's.
Yeah, look at the difference between Fakir's resources and Alchemist resources. Like, look at that.
It's night and day right there.
Yeah, of course Fakirs have 35 more points. Like, but
Yeah, I mean
just the raw
that's the difference,
resources, like
right?
that's
In there.
crazy.
Oh, and I
Yeah,
guess their dwellings are 6 point dwellings, not 8 point dwellings this round. They don't have Earth One, but yeah, we'll
yeah,
see. We'll
right.
see.
That's true. So, okay, Fickles is saying in the chat that Weber needs workers action and a single dig to get down to 15 structures. So
Ooh, okay.
I think that's what he's saying. But he got TP and 6 dwellings, which would be great, but I find it hard to believe that Zarita would allow that if he
I was gonna
like
say, yeah, I
if
mean,
it's
even if he
important.
can, he'd need to get to 3 ship and dig I5 before Alchemists decide to nail it. Yeah, I
And
mean,
Alchemist could just
maybe.
take A2, F1, they could just tap it away very easily. Like
That's
I think
true.
it's
Yeah.
I mean you might as well go for it as edgies, right? Like what else are you doing with your resources? You probably want workers anyways. You want a spade anyways. Like it makes enough sense to me to go for it. Oh, but they need power to get. Wait, yeah, they need a little more power. I guess they have some power with like a priest to cult and a bit of leech or something. But yeah, I find it hard to believe that NGs would actually get all that out. But I kind of think it's worth trying because why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I5 is making me so nervous. It's like I feel like there's 3 dwellings or 0 dwellings over there, depending on what happens. Like if I were Alchemist and I thought NGs and I did the math and I thought NGs were my biggest threat, I would 3 worker dig that right now to make it hard. I don't know. I would consider crazy stuff.
Ooh,
Not
well,
right,
I,
not
I
right
wouldn't
now.
do
I'd
that,
wait.
but like,
Yeah, yeah. But I just mean it's
yeah,
making
because
me nervous. I don't know. I don't know. Something about that hex.
that makes sense. But like as alchemists, like you just fully advanced digs, then you can just tap F1, A2, like because
Yeah,
NGs
that's true.
kind
That's
of
true.
want all those hexes too, so they're all like just as valuable. But yeah, like it shows the control that alchemists with a good early economy have on the game, and kind of like we talked about this earlier, but like this is where there's gonna be tension for NGs in the game. Like there wasn't really tension until this point, and now it's scary. It's maybe justification for NGs building out more earlier, but the track like this really was like the way Weber played here really did hit the track well, so it's hard to say exactly. And I guess there always would have been tension no matter how much NGs built out
Yeah,
earlier in the
that's a
game.
fair point. I
But
mean, alchemists kind of have presence across the whole board, except for if NG's tried town in like the southeast or something like that. But still, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it
What
seems
else?
like it could be an example of what I heard Weber call high rolling. Someone pointed this out in chat, and what we were talking about earlier, where like in this format, where it's such a strong table, and where you're in the finals, you got to go for broke, right? So I could see Weber thinking
Mhm.
about it as, or anyone in Weber's shoes thinking about it as, I got to go for it. I got to score as best as I can off the track and hope that these hexes stick around well enough for me. But it's looking a bit scary.
Yeah, 100%. I think you have to, and that's NGs too. NGs are a high risk, high reward faction, right? Like they're
Absolutely.
vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Um, it's always part of them, especially with Alchemist in the game, and especially with Alchemist getting such a good early opening. Like that's the key, is that Zarito is like flush with workers right now, and so it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal for him to dig a hex. But if Alchemist were slower, like if Mermaids could have somehow beaten Alchemist to C1, which they couldn't here, but if they could have, and Alchemist didn't have as like such a good opening and they had less workers, it would be a much more difficult decision for
Yeah.
Alchemist if they should block or not. So it's just a little consideration. It's hard to value that at the auction really, but it's a yeah, you see it play out here, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Weber's thinking
And
about it.
so okay,
Weber's definitely taken his glad to have saved some clock at this point in the game, I think.
yeah, and he's delaying the decision for I5. Like he took A2 first. Um, if he needs that hex is threatened by Alchemist, so it makes sense. We haven't talked about the other factions. So Felipe as Mermaids is advancing dig. Like he did one dig advance and he's gonna do a second. It's pretty clear he's digging I2 and I8 or I9 or H no, not H6. Or maybe? There's actually more pressure on NG's hexes on I9 and H6 because Mermaids could take one of them.
That's true. I didn't even think of
Didn't really
that.
think about that.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well, right? As mermaids, you don't need another trading post location. I think that there's no downside to doing I9 versus I8.
No, there isn't. Unless I mean I know Felipe is not just an aggressive player for the sake of being aggressive, and so if he's aware he's losing regardless, like I don't think he would do it. But some players might.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, Justin, oh no, he has access to I10 anyways, so it's not like digging H6 or I9 gives him access there. And then what for Fakir? So Super Zarni has just been building dwellings this round, like taking his natural hexes, which makes sense.
Yeah, pretty
He doesn't have
much
much
just a
left in
trading
the tank.
post, right? Trading post or maybe a temple if it really does what he needs on Colts. Plus, he's got that one Colt step. But it's pretty much what he's got left. I would go trading post here on the trading post style, right? No reason not to. Takes a priest.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so too. And he can still do a trading post with that priest. Like that priest is going to water probably,
Yeah. Right.
and then he
Okay.
does a trading post. That's better than dig bobbing, yeah, pretty clearly.
Yeah, that's nice.
And he has his water 2-step.
Yep.
He's got that still.
I mean, that thing could be worth 2 points
Um,
in its own. You don't know.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, will alchemists have an extra cult step? It's not clear. So like using it in
I
fire is worth a
still,
point.
I
In earth,
cannot
oh, in earth
believe,
it could be worth points.
I cannot believe these 3 Colt towns are still sitting here. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I9.
Ouch. Damn. Yeah, that hurts NGs for sure.
Just so
Um,
vulnerable. Yeah, it's tough.
yeah, I didn't think about mermaids digging. I thought about H6 or I9 at one point about mermaids maybe going there to town, but I kind of forgot about it. Um, yeah, that's sad for sure for
Yeah.
NGs.
And Fickles point out in chat how rough this lack of mermaids on C4 is for alchemists.
Yeah, yeah, man. I kind of forgot about that too. But alchemists, can they just afford to triple dig A6 and A7 and just go there and like not do expensive TPs?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's the move.
I think that might be the move. They may have enough workers for that. Without calculating too closely, I think they do. So maybe not the end of the world, but it does hurt for sure. We do see NG, so Weber did double dig. So Weber is definitely getting
Yep.
14 structures here.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, so it's just a matter of will mermaids or more likely alchemists hit G1. I mean, alchemists could hit A12 too, but it's not as valuable as G1 is.
Yeah, right. I
I don't
I
think I
feel
kind of
like they
don't
don't
think
have to.
so. I think they don't have to. Like it seems like alchemists are in good enough
Yeah,
shape. They still have 2 towns coming in. They're passing for 9, maybe four, like up to 13 points. So I don't know. I think alchemists are probably
yeah.
in okay shape without messing with it. But if
I
they
agree
calc
with
that
you.
they don't
I
need
don't
the
think
extra
there's any
worker,
need.
the extra worker is only half a resource. So we'll see.
Right. See if he thinks about it. But my gut feeling, I guess, is also don't disrupt. It's just not necessary, and maybe it hurt. Like unless you're really sure about it, it might hurt you in another way.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're fine without disrupting here.
How do you like 8 point town for mermaids here, something like that? It looks like there could be a decent number of points coming off of that for them. I feel like 2 key might be
Mm,
overkill. I'm not sure how many points that nets them, but I feel like a little bit of cult action for them could go a long way here. I mean, I'm looking at all
y-
these cults basically.
yeah, definitely. I think the 8-point town makes a lot of sense for mermaids. I'm still almost like insulted that no one's taking a cult town this game.
Right? Same.
Something
I
about
keep
that being the two key cup. Like I know 8 points not 2-key town, but like it goes hand in hand. Like
Yeah.
man, these guys are really
We'll see. I mean,
really
we
hating
gotta
the
see
cold
one.
towns.
We gotta see at least one, right? There's 3 more towns coming, we think. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Alchemist in the late game might want an 8-point town. That looks like a lot of points for them too.
Yeah.
Like it's good. It's good for factions to have those towns sitting. Like it's just I think this is an 8-point town for mermaids, right? Unless he
I
goes
think so. I guess the only
no
thing
no
is
no
that
no.
he's could be catching NGs on network, right? He's down to 3 structures. Looks like it's within reach with upgraded
Oh
digs.
gosh, I didn't realize that. Maybe yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, NGs have one more dwelling. They're obviously going to get out one way or another. They've guaranteed themselves that, and then they're going to pass with a couple resource points, and that's their game. They got a cult step. And mermaids can delay the
Hmm.
decision. I feel like that's such an underrated. I mean, maybe not, but I feel like that's a sneaky, um, strong faction ability is being able to delay your town and make it once you have a more clear sense of what leech you're getting and what other people are up to.
Yeah, and I think it's something that a lot of strong players do, but like players like less experienced players in particular like don't think about with mermaids. That flexibility, like you don't have to town right away. You can delay your decision, especially if no one else is towning. Like you can kind of wait and see what your resources are looking like do a few more actions first before
Yeah,
deciding, and it can be really helpful. especially if you want to see if you're getting disrupted, like if someone else is passing or things like that. Uh, I think it is really nice, and it is underutilized in general. And so Felipe did delay here, which yeah, I think is a good idea. Like, why not? There's
Yeah,
really
no
no
reason to.
pressure on towns. Like, yeah.
Takes I-11. Yeah, so he would need
And
4 workers and 5 4 workers and 5. Yeah, with a worker town, I guess, or maybe in. Yeah, I guess a worker town gets him down to 3 structures, right? Tied
yeah,
for second
I think I
place.
was underestimating mermaids a bit, right? Like they're going worker town. I totally forgot it was a dwelling ground at some point in this round, and so
Yeah,
I'm realizing that
it's
mermaids are
tough.
scoring
It's
4 points
tough.
in these dwelling.
I mean, for me, I like
Like, and
my
so you're
eyes glaze over if I'm casting like this. Like my eyes glaze over at a certain point. I like really start to not catch everything. Like not that I'm catching everything the whole way, but like boy, by the end of the game, it can be tough.
yeah, it is, and like with it being a dwelling ground, it's clear that fighting network is mermaid's best move here. I think to me over a cult year over the 8 point town.
I see. Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
because it's a 4 point dwellings, 3 points in NGs, and it also justifies the I9 dig too. Like, I mean, mermaids realize, like Felipe probably realized he's fighting Weber on network, and so taking hex from NGs makes a lot of sense then to put more pressure on them.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I didn't think about that earlier in the round, but it makes a lot of sense.
And look, so Fakirs are 1 move away from being done. It looks to me like they're going to be passing. They're going to have 150 points going to end game scoring. That's not too shabby.
Ooh. Yeah, man, with water one and air one, and he's got
And
a few cult points.
their Colts
Oh
might be
man,
enough to pull this out for them. I really think that how these
wait,
Colts shake out might determine where Fakir's land.
this is a lot of points. Yeah, I feel like I underestimated this too. I knew they had a lot, but I forgot they had some cheap cult points too. Like I forgot they have an easy second on air, easy second on water. Like the water two again, water two and priest to water is all they need for second on water here, and that's crazy,
Yeah. And
man.
it looks like Felipe
Unless
agrees
unless
with you.
alchemists
Oh, sorry.
say unless alchemists go priest to water or something like that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, well, mermaids with two worker towns, nice.
Yeah. I feel like this is a pretty stylish Mermaids game. You got some slightly different town placements. You got the dig upgrades, which you love to see, and 2 worker towns. It's kind of cool. Plus the
Yeah,
Earth One star, which we were questioning or at least curious about, and it didn't seem to slow him down all that much.
I mean he's getting 14 structures out with digs advanced still, like with Earth one. That's pretty solid. Winning two or winning a cult, tied for first in the cult. Um, yeah, he got more than I thought he would with Earth One this game. He built more with it than I thought he might. So
Yeah,
it really helps to
absolutely.
justify it.
Yeah, yeah,
And we also see Zarito. He did an expensive TP in A8, and now he dug A11. So it looks like Zarito's going A10 instead for
yeah.
that
That's
town. So just one
nice.
expensive TP.
That's really nice. That's a nice find. He's able to save himself those 3 coins, those 3 points, because he is out of coins at this point essentially. And yeah,
Hmm.
that's really nice.
Yeah,
And went for
I missed.
Priest Town. It
Well, I
looks
missed
like.
that. He went for Priest Town, yeah. So might be useful for cults, or maybe needs it as a worker. I don't know. I missed that he can go A11, but I like didn't think NGs were gonna dig A12, so that kind of changes that equation, I guess, a bit.
Right, right. That was where Weber like happened to pick for his second dig, um, in guaranteeing himself. Yeah, that space. I wonder if that was thoughtful or yeah. I guess if he had gone D6, he saw. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. In any
Yeah.
case, we got one more town coming in. Still none of these cult towns. I know where this is probably not the most fun thing to listen to. Is just two dudes talking about cult towns, but man, just one town left, and I'm just gonna say I don't know if it's worth a cult town because Cerrito's already top in air. I think I don't know. I guess the 8 pointer is the most points you can get off a town anyhow, so we can hope.
Uh, do two keys, Arito. Come on, like for the viewers, two key town. You could
The
do it.
people
He's
need to
still
see
fine.
it.
Come on.
Yeah, I think it
Come
looks
on,
good. I think it
Zarito.
does look good. It passes. It like moves him up 3 positions across the cults, and I don't see any other cult steps from any of these other players available. So
Yeah. No, I don't either. I mean, Like clearly it's just worse than an 8-point town, but like that would be a big flex just to take 2 key town with the last move in the tournament to win with that. Like he's got to go for it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Oh, and he goes for the workers. Okay, so is he getting down? Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that. Did he? What's he doing with the workers? What are we doing here? I guess he. Oh, I guess he has to get down the one more dwelling. He just needs a dig for it. So.
Yeah, is he getting down to? Does it make sense for him to go for like a? Wait, can he do like another TP indwelling after this?
Yeah.
Oh, with the 2 key town he can.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think, unless I miscalculated.
eight
Maybe without
pointer.
it.
8-pointer. We'll count it. If he
Ah,
gets 2 power. No, I think he's just short, right? So he can. No, because he's got the priest occult. I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's got it figured out.
he needs a dig too. So no, I don't think he does.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Yeah, I mean
obviously, like
these
this is
priest
fine.
occults are yeah.
Yeah, they're good. Oh man, alchemists are gonna have so many points here after passing. They
Yeah,
got air
it's
one as well,
insane.
like ship DP. Oh, that looks nice.
It looks very nice. Yep.
Oh, G5 is open. I forgot they dug G6. Like they have access to G5.
G5.
So
Oh,
we can do
absolutely.
TP dwelling. Oh, this is
Oh,
beautiful.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah, good call,
I we'll
chat.
see where it all lands, but I think this looks pretty good for alchemists, obviously. But yeah, let's wait for the final tallying to come in.
Yeah,
Passing
what
with
a
one
game.
structure, 9 points, right? 9 plus another 4 points. Yeah.
Man, yeah, what a like a really high level game. Like everyone scored really well this game, which is partially due to the setup and faction combo. Like we've got again like a pretty high scoring track, 3 scoring bonuses, and some like pretty strong economic factions, except for Fakirs, like that could take advantage.
Hmm.
But also like shows the skill of these players. Like they're all crushing this game hard, and there was some tension. Like Mermaid's Alchemist, of course, NG's with tension late, Fakir starting a bit slow, and everyone's still able to do super well here.
And Zerito, thoughtful down to the last power movement here. Was gonna upgrade on D and give Super some free power on D3, but took the move back since he saw that he was also giving super power on G4 in order to prevent him from getting a resource point. I mean, that I think that alone just speaks to how uh, very precise and accurate these players are, even in live play with extra time left on their clocks. So, hell of a show,
Yeah,
hell of a game.
honestly. Oh, Cerrito's got what, 184 here? Oh man, look at that
184.
score.
That's a big score, and it looks like a tie for second place. Wow.
Oh
Okay.
man, Felipe had 158. Oh my gosh, he did so much
158
better than I thought he was gonna do this game. Yeah,
and just about 30 seconds left on the clock. Incredible.
jeez.
And as you
Oh, I
pointed out, it looks like we're probably going to see Zerito up over 700 for the first time here.
Yeah, he
Beautiful.
mentioned that this will
Look
be the
at
first
that.
time for him. 702, nice.
Amazing. All right, we've got Zerito's Alchemists winning the 2 key cup here, pushing him up over into the master level for the first time with a monster of a 184 score. And then Felipe and Super tied in second place here. Unbelievable.
Man, yeah. So for, like Zarito now, I think he won the fan factions tournament in the Terra Mystica World Open this year.
Mm,
I
okay.
think. I think that's right. So winning the 2 key top cup as well, hitting 700, like man, there's no denying. Like Zarito's an amazing player.
Absolutely.
Like the
Like
evidence is there.
he has proven himself time and time again, it seems. That's crazy. All right, well, let's hop into a voice channel here with Zerito. I'll send him a reminder in a minute. Uh,
I think
I'll see you there in a second.
okay, I'll see you.
Okay.
All right, do we have a? Oh no, we don't have Zarito here yet.
Yeah, let's I'll give him a reminder in a minute. I just decided to grab myself a drink here.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's see. Let's see. Am I still on the right screen here? Can everybody see the Yep. Excellent. And okay, so just because look at this final table here. I mean, look at how strong all these players are. They're based on their ratings and based on the level of play. Because I went through the trouble of making it, I'm gonna flash this these stats that I put together. This is not the final table, but the whole tournament. We had an incredible number of top 20 players and everyone with really high ratings. So pretty impressive stuff across the board.
Man,
All right, let's
average
get
elo is almost 600. Whew.
yeah, insane, insane.
Hi. Sorry, I thought you were gonna call me.
Oh no, no problem, no problem.
I
We're just chatting here,
misunderstood.
anyways. Congratulations! What a game! What a tournament! What do you think? What's
Thank,
on your mind right now? How you feeling?
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like once I secured B5, it felt pretty won, in my
Yep.
opinion.
B5. That's that
Yeah, no.
northern connection hex, the yellow there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I kind of hung that a while because I saw Felipe opened Earth 1 and he didn't take C4 the first round. So I felt like he wouldn't have the resources to take that until much later in the game.
Yep. Makes
So I felt
sense.
like I could hang that quite a while.
Yeah, we
Sick.
thought that as well. And yeah, congrats, Zarito, on the win. Um, I'm curious. So you played Alchemist in this game and the qualifiers game and won both. Did you put them in the auction in the qualifier game too? And like, do you think you're a better Alchemist player than most other players?
Um, yes, I did put them into both times, and I do really enjoy Alchemist. I don't know, I have good results with them, so I think I'm a pretty good Alchemist player. I would hope to think at least.
I love that. That's I feel like you don't see that too often is someone getting the same faction they picked in 2 games in a row like that and crushing it in both games. What was forgive me, what was the score in the first game? Did you have a pretty sizable gap or was that one of the close games?
I think I won by maybe 10 points.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, really incredible
Hmm.
showing. Congrats. Also, it was pointed out this is it looks like you just gained 17 elo for this game because it was such a
Yeah,
strong table and it pushed you up over 700 for the first time. Is that's for the first time?
yeah.
Incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Congrats. Master Cerrito here. Joining the Master
Nice.
Club.
Yeah, I say welcome to the club, Zarito. How does it feel? How does it feel to be above 700?
Feels pretty. Yeah, I was like 1.5 or 2 years ago. I was at 697, and then I fell down to 500. So that felt pretty bad. But now, yeah, I didn't think I would make it, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll definitely
Yeah,
do it in style.
it was
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
interesting game. Like I mean, I got a few lucky breaks here. Uh, I got the B4 B5 quite late. I didn't have to rush it, and also I got Water 1 round 5 with a temple, not having to build sanctuary at any point in the game. I felt like
hmm.
I really don't like sanctuaries. If I can avoid it, I always try to. uh, yeah, it was interesting. I passed into the last round with so many resources, but I felt like it was correct to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk us through that early pass because that was something definitely. I think we spent a maybe disproportionate amount of time talking about your game as alchemists in like round 4 or 5, something like that. But we were definitely discussing the possibility of that early pass because of the ship scoring tile. What were you thinking? How were you considering that decision?
Do you mean in round 5, or I think I paused early for it one other time? Maybe I don't remember. But you mean round 5?
Oh
Round
yeah,
5.
specifically going into from round 5 into round 6 onto the ship scoring. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I had I counted it out and I had enough resources to get everything except sanctuary down. And then I felt like I can pass for the ship scoring and coins, and that is like net 3 coins and then like 10.5 points for this. So that's like what is it? 13.5 point pass, and then I don't score anything in the earlier rounds. I think I can just pass and score the dwellings the next round instead. So it felt pretty strong to just pass early, and also I deny the ship scoring from Felipe or anyone else who really wants it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, from talking about it, we thought it was a good move, the early pass. I was also curious to ask you about the digging you did. So you did a hard dig on E2 in round 2, and a single
Yeah.
dig and hard dig in B4 in round 3, I believe, and didn't advance dig till round 6, which is
Yeah.
really cool because you don't always see that as alchemists. I think we like the digging, and I'm curious, did you have that kind of planned earlier, or like before the rounds before you did them, let's say, or was that kind of more of a spontaneous decision, like when you're in the round you realize like the hard digs made a lot of sense for you?
Yeah, it was kind of spontaneous. I'd never really had enough priest or enough tempo to do it. Really, there were other things I wanted to do instead, and I didn't really need more digs at the moment. I had all my dwellings out, getting those 8 workers every round. I didn't really have a need to build more stuff. Really, I was just trying to maximize the points. And then one of the most interesting decisions for me, I think, this game was that D2 E2 dig. I was really debating if I should dig B4 or D2 E2. D2 E2 is more economy, but then I risk losing B5. But I went for the D2 E2 digs instead, and it paid off. It was the greedier play.
Yeah, I feel like at a
Yeah,
table like
I
this, you
think
gotta get greedy, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and it works well. It let you town early, which is really nice. Like get that priest town early, which I forget what you used it for. Maybe as ship advance to score with, but like I don't know, the early town
yeah,
is nice, and if you can get away with it, like it makes a lot of sense.
yeah. And I was thinking like the same thing as about the B5. I was thinking mermaids have quite low economy, so if I do lose B5, I'm fairly sure I can rush H5 or H4 before mermaids because they can't both take B5 and get free shipping and go down to H4. So I was fairly sure I had a backup plan there. But might not. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Probably not.
incredible
Yeah, that felt pretty
game.
safe.
Actually, one other thing I wanted to at least mention or see if you had any thoughts on was I feel like it's very stylish of you to claim air cult entirely for yourself there and get 8
Mm.
coins in the process. 8 coins and
Yeah,
what was it, 6, 8 workers? Something? Sorry, 3 or 4 workers, something like that.
yeah, I think I got maybe 3 workers. But yeah, that's like the same point. I had enough resources to do everything I wanted, and there I close it out, and I get 2 points or like 3.5 points worth of coins.
Right, right.
So, I mean, it's yeah.
Hmm.
It was very nice. And one other thing we have to thank you for. We ended up talking about cult towns quite a bit, partly because of the name of the tournament. And no one had took cult towns with those wide open cults. Everyone had other priorities with network fights and everything else going on. And you finally took a cult down with the last one. So we got to thank you for that.
Yeah, I should have taken the 2 key town, but I was too focused. I didn't count it out. I didn't see
No, no,
how much my lead
you gotta
actually
max
was.
your points. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about it. We wanted you to take Tukey Town very badly to end the game. To style a tournament off with a Tukey Town pick that was completely unnecessary. We really wanted that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the tiebreaker probably wasn't happening, but it would have been style points only. I think you had enough style points this game. You played a beautiful game. Anything else about your game you want to talk about, or about the game in general, or yeah, anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
No, I think we talked about most of the things. So yeah, great. Thank you for organizing this as well. Hope we can do it again
Yeah,
sometime.
my absolute pleasure. Yeah, and thanks to Barnawal for jumping into co-cast here. This was a lot of fun casting with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, like you're welcome. This is a great time.
yeah. As far as future prospects for the tournament, I mean the reception for this and certainly the like level of play exceeded my expectation. Like I was hoping we could possibly get a tournament where everyone who qualified qualified was an expert level player or close. And we didn't just achieve that, but I was flashing some stats I couldn't help but put together on stream Cerrito. If you watch it back, you'll see the average elo going into the tournament of everyone was around 600, and almost everyone in the tournament has been in the top 20 on BJ at some point. So it's just like insane, and it seemed like we had a lot of interest from spectators. So I'm inclined to do this again if folks are interested. To be determined whether, yeah, we'll chat more about it. I'll see if we can poll some folks and see what folks are interested in. But assuming there's interest, I tried to make it pretty manageable to organize and pretty manageable to play in. And in some ways succeeded more than others. So, but ultimately it wasn't a huge heavy lift for me. I'd be happy to do it again if folks would like to. That said, if we did an async version of this, I'm going to gauge interest in that because that's a much lighter lift on my part. I think we'd actually get potentially more participation and an even higher level of play for that, potentially depending on interest. So, so I'll float that idea and see what folks think. But anyways, that's potential future of the tournament here. It was a blast to see everybody having such a good time. And honestly, I think I'm going to watch back. I think Rainier said he might have recorded his game, and I'm going to probably watch back replays of the first round games because just such incredible games. Yeah, just really good Terra Mystica. This is what we all love to see. Yeah, so I think that'll do it, unless you guys have anything else. Thanks again for casting with me, Barnawal, and congratulations, huge congratulations on winning the tournament, blowing this last game out of the water score-wise, and becoming a master level player for the first time.
Thank you.
All right, take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.